Hello, welcome to Flick's Water YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about an important topic, the effects of fluoride on our brains, especially in children. You might be wondering what fluoride, the stuff in your toothpaste, has to do with your brain. Well, the connection is quite fascinating, and understanding it can provide valuable insights into our mental health. First, here's a list of what fluoride can do to your brain, along with some details for each effect. 1. Cognitive disruptions. Fluoride exposure, particularly during early development, can lead to cognitive disruptions, such as slower learning and memory impairment. 2. Behavioral changes. Animal studies have shown that fluoride exposure can cause behavioral changes, including hyperactivity and depressive tendencies. These changes are more pronounced in developing animals. 3. Sex differences. Male animals may be more affected by fluoride exposure, particularly in terms of learning and memory. Research on this topic is ongoing. 4. Mental health impact. Increased fluoride levels in tap water have been associated with ADHD diagnoses and symptoms, like hyperactivity and inattention. However, urinary fluoride levels may not predict ADHD. 5. Limited human studies. Research on the direct impact of fluoride on mental health in humans is limited, with one study showing a link to somatization behaviors but no connection to depression or anxiety. 6. Vulnerability in developing brains. Developing brains, especially in children, retain more fluoride and are thus more vulnerable to its potential neurotoxic effects. 7. Ongoing research. The relationship between fluoride and brain health is complex and requires more comprehensive research to provide a clearer understanding of the risks and benefits. These are the key points to consider when discussing the impact of fluoride on the brain. It's an area of study that continues to evolve as more research is conducted. Now, let's look at the research. Studies have shown that exposure to fluoride, particularly during pregnancy and early childhood, can have some concerning effects on mental health. These effects are not just limited to humans, they've been observed in animals too. For instance, animal studies have revealed that fluoride exposure can lead to issues like cognitive disruptions, memory problems, and even behavioral changes. Interestingly, these effects tend to be more pronounced in younger animals, suggesting that developing brains are particularly vulnerable. In some cases, prenatal exposure to fluoride in animals has resulted in behaviors resembling hyperactivity induced by amphetamines. This is concerning, to say the least. So, we can't ignore the fact that fluoride might affect how our brains function, but the story doesn't end there. Research also suggests that there might be differences between male and female animals in how they respond to fluoride. Male animals, in some studies, appear to be more affected in terms of learning and memory. However, this is still an area where more research is needed. Now, you might be wondering, what about humans? Do these findings apply to us? Well, the research on humans is a bit more complex. Some studies have suggested that fluoride exposure can lower IQ in developing children. This is particularly concerning because kids retain more fluoride than adults, making their developing brains more vulnerable. The debate is ongoing, and more robust research is required to understand the full impact of fluoride on human brain development. However, it's essential to keep this information in mind, especially for pregnant women and parents of young children. Interestingly, there's also a connection between fluoride and mental health. Some studies have linked increased fluoride levels in tap water to diagnosis of conditions like ADHD, which can lead to symptoms such as hyperactivity and inattention. These findings raise questions about the critical periods of exposure, suggesting that prenatal exposure might be a key time frame. However, when it comes to the direct impact of fluoride on mental health, the research is limited. One study found a link between urinary fluoride content and somatization behaviors, but it didn't show a connection with depression or anxiety. This unexpected finding highlights the complexity of the issue. As for sex differences, some studies indicate that males might be more susceptible to the effects of fluoride, particularly in terms of cognition and mental health. But there's still a lot of conflicting data, and more research is necessary to draw solid conclusions. In conclusion, fluoride's impact on the brain is a complex and evolving area of study. While we use fluoride in dental care, we should also be aware of its potential effects on our mental health, especially in children. It's a topic that needs more attention, so researchers can provide us with a clearer picture of the risks and benefits. If you found this discussion interesting and informative, please stay curious and stay informed. Your knowledge can be a powerful tool in making informed decisions about your health and the health of your loved ones. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next discussion. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to our channel for next topics or click to see the next videos on the right.